Hello everyone. I was debating how bad our weather was going to get here. Not that it's bad, but I thought, do I need to delay my Facebook Live or not? Because we started to get pea-sized hail with this just downpour of rain. At first it was just one of those, I don't know if there's a gentle downpour, but it was just straight down heavy rain. And then I started to hear the little tink, tink, tinks on the glass and windows, and just little bit of hail. So I'm gonna go forward because I think that part's already passing too. So yeah, kind of a nice surprise because I was out gardening this morning for quite a bit, and I thought, oh, I need to water my garden tonight. Well, that has definitely been taken care of. So that's really nice to have that part done. I'm just gonna tune into my iPad here, and hopefully I can catch your comments as I go along too. Hi, Julie, thanks for joining in. And so today I'm bringing you card number 2 for Linda Sampson's party. So it's backwards for now, but I just kind of wanted to give you a glimpse. It's kind of got a little bit of a country look. Last week I used the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle, and I used the really large sunflowers. So this time I thought I want to show you different techniques and different ideas, and so I thought, well, I should use the small one this week, and I really like the small one too. So yeah, so I'm excited about showing you something different with it. Hi Joyce, thanks for joining in. So yeah, this is the sunflowers. I forgot that I had put the stamp set. So last week I'd show, or earlier this week, I had showed you a card using the large sunflower. So today is the small one. And I love the different sentiments in there. Oh, that's right, it's backwards. I'll show you here in a little bit. I'll put it the right way around. And that, if you are following along, is on page 13. So don't forget, this is something too that when you guys order on your own online. Hi Linda, thanks for joining in for your party, and Ginger too, sisters watching together. Hi Cheryl. So don't forget, this is something important that I want to tell you. You guys are so good at ordering online, and there's so many of you that email or call to place your orders, which is just fine too. But on page 13 you'll see the stamp set, and you'll see a picture of the dies over here. If you're ordering them together, don't forget that you get that 10% savings. So you'll want to make sure that you put the special code there instead of entering in the die separate and the stamp set separate, because the computer at Stampin' Up! Won't automatically acknowledge that it's a bundle when you put them in separate. So using that special code here then will maintain that 10% savings for you with the bundle. So and that's with all the bundles. So, and also something that I was really excited about in the back that I haven't pointed out along that line is I love how they took all the bundles that qualify for 10% savings and they put them here. So earlier in the catalog you see them pictured together in their suite of products, and then for this then you'll see that those are again put together, and then a few pages back when they're shown separately, the dies, then you know that these don't qualify for any of the 10% savings. So usually how it works is that the first time a bundle appears in a publication, then there's a 10% savings attached to that, and then the next time if it carries forward into the next publication, then usually that 10% savings is wiped off. But I did notice anything that was a bundle in the previous mini catalog, January through June, that's the first time that those have been carried over, like the punch bundles and the die bundles. Those are 10% still. And I don't know with all the COVID things if they were able to do that. I know catalogs are brought to the printer so far ahead. Excuse me, I have a dry spot in my throat. And so so I don't know if that was intentional or with COVID, if they felt like some of those dies were so long in coming that they wanted to just give us that extra discount a little bit longer, which I think is great. Actually don't care. I love that we can still get the 10% discount a little bit longer. Hi Barb. So let me switch my camera around so that I can get going on Linda's card number 2 for you. Okay, so hopefully you can see my workspace there, and Linda's code. Okay. Here, I'm just gonna take a little bit of my sip of my beverage here. With it being so hot earlier, I think that is part of it. Okay, so here again, I wanna show you the card. Face on, because before when I showed it to you, that was all backwards. So I love this font. Thanks a bunch. I love the size of it. I love that it's clear to read, because sometimes you get things that are kind of fancy or kind of cursive and they're hard to understand or read, but I love that the size of it allows it to be very readable. So once again, that comes from Celebrate Sunflowers, and that's excellent. Page 13 from the annual catalog. So just want to run that through you. And I've been helping out with my grandson quite a bit. And so we've been watching some Sesame Street here and there. And so today's card is brought to you by the colors Bumblebee and Cinnamon Cider. And so I just want to show you, Cinnamon Cider is its own kind of brown. When I try and pair it up with anything that's already in my stamp room, not even close to soft suede, nothing like any of the browns that we have. So it's its own kind of brown, which is nice. And I think it looks gorgeous with this new Bumblebee color too. So I think it's going to be a great addition on its own. I think these two paired together will make some really beautiful fall colored themed cards for that. And I love fall, so I'm already anxious to see how that's going to look too. So those are kind of my main colors that I'm sticking with. Okay, so then I always look at my card and go, where did I start when I was putting my card together? And I think it was building that sunflower. So what I'm going to do is take some Very Vanilla today. I often work, especially in the summer, often work with Whisper White, but I felt like this card, because of the brown tones, needed some vanilla. So I'm going to take my Memento black ink pad, and I'm just going to ink that up really well. I'm going to put that on my Very Vanilla here, like so. Just going to set that aside and run that through. I love the dies for the sunflower here. So I'm just going to take that and run that through. I think this is a card that I'm just going to do kind of piece by piece, and then I'll build it all at once to show you how I did that. Okay, so just run that through. And you could color it. Some people color it, and I think they're very daring if they color first and cut second, because my luck, it would jump or something and get off center or off of the image. And so I always feel like if I spent all that time coloring, I'd be pretty sad if I wasn't able to get a nice cut and would have to start all over with the coloring. Hi, Jennifer. It's good to have you on here. And then the thing that I think was pretty exciting, here I'll show you the name of the dies too, the sunflower dies. That's what I'm working with. That's part of the bundle that you get for the 10% savings. So kind of as I pull them off here, I was going to show you and I forgot to bring it out. Whenever I use a die from a set, and I know I'm going to be using, and I've been making cards for you guys that have been ordering through the parties. So anytime I use a die, I take it off my sheet that comes with the dies, and then I have this metallic bowl that my husband got from like an automotive shop, and I know a lot of you are familiar with what that is, and it's bowl shaped, so as I get done with the die, I can just stick it right in that bowl, and it just sticks anywhere in there. So the smaller ones go down, the bigger ones, I mean, I can have it overflowing because it's a really strong magnetic pull, and it's a great way to have it on my desktop and have all my dies stay secure, and I don't feel like any of them are going to scoot off, fall behind my dresser, or get lost in the shuffle too. So, and then when I'm done using them, done with the project, then they go back on here. So that's my little tip of the day. Hi, Donna, thanks for joining in. So I'm going to next take my old olive ink pad, and this was what I thought was exciting. So I wanted a couple extra leaves besides the two that were connected there. So I looked and I went, oh, this is fun. There's two on the stamp, and so I can stamp them out together. like so. And then when I went to pick this die, I'll show you, the dies are always facing up. When I went to pick this off, I went, oh great, they put two of the leaf dies in there so I can cut out two at the same time. I didn't realize they were together. So I was like, that was a fun surprise today. Don't we all love those kind of things? So I should have known when it stamped out that it would be like that. So let me just pull my Big Shot back over here. Oops. I want it this way, otherwise the handle will be on the wrong side. And lay that on top of there. So yeah, Stampin' Up! Every once in a while has images like that, where there's more than one image on a stamp and then the dies coordinate that way. So kind of fun. And then I want to show you what's even more fun, because I was like, okay, then they'll line up exactly that way for your card. But no, I want to make sure this is in the camera really close, because this was my aha moment. Hello, Marge. Hello, Rosina. And hello, Chris and Cindy, too. All of a sudden, a bunch of you jumped on. Okay, so this was my aha moment. So when I take away, so the stamped out both, the die cuts out both, but look at this, you get two separate leaves. So you don't have to keep them. I mean, you could cut them apart, but you don't have to. So I love, because I didn't want to have to put them together on my design. I wanted them a little bit more separate. So I was really excited about that. It must be one of those days where the small things really thrilled me. Okay, so then next I'm going to switch over to just the regular Big Shot platform, and I'm going to use this Old World, here it is, Old World paper 3D embossing folder, and that's brand new in this catalog. And this paper does a great job kind of showing what the design looks like, as well as in the catalog. And it's 3D, so it's thicker, so I need my blue plate here. And so what I'm going to do is just take a 4 by 3.5 piece of that cinnamon cider and just put that in there. And because it's a really random pattern, I don't have to worry about how it lines up so much as far as being straight or not. So I'll just run that through. Hi, Marcia, thanks for joining in. Okay, so here's what we have. It reminds me of a technique that I would do every once in a while, where I just take a piece of paper like this and just wad it up in my fist and crunch it up. Sometimes I'd spray it with a little bit of water first, do that, and then try and flatten it out. And so it's really nice. It kind of reminds me of fun texture that you see sometimes in the inside or outsides of houses too. So I like that. Okay, next I'm going to color in my sunflower, and I enjoyed coloring this in. I thought it might be a little labor intensive, especially for a Facebook Live. I didn't know if you guys would need to be listening to some Jeopardy music while I start coloring. And Cindy, if you're still watching, I could just hear you singing along to that, because Cindy is my music major. So, okay, so this is the Mango Melody Stampin' Blend, and it's the light one. So to make the coloring easy, I feel like with the sunflower, I really did things opposite. Usually I will outline things in the dark color and then go through or back over all of it with the light. But I think because the shading on here, let me put it closer to you, the shading on here is around there, and I feel like the outsides kind of are where they want it to look lighter. So I'm just taking my light Mango Melody and just doing about 2/3 of it in the light color. And I think too, the color looks richer. Mango Melody is a really nice kind of golden color. You would think by the name that it would be maybe even more orangey, but it's not. So I ended up using this quite a bit, more than I thought I would. And then I'm going to take the light and just kind of scribble back and forth. And I'm gonna just try and catch also some of those just little black lines to color over to give it some shading streaks. But by being able to just kind of fill in where most of it has already been colored in with the light makes it super easy. So what I thought would be a struggle is okay. And then I kind of went over a little bit into there, but it's going to get covered up by the next color. So it looks kind of like dark and light now, but as it dries, it just kind of takes on its own thing too. So the next colors I'm going to use are my soft suede. And with my soft suede, I'm just going to color over the entire thing with the light again. So like I said, usually I'm more of a want to outline everything dark, but today I'm just going to go over that with the light. Try and stay in the lines there because that'll make a bigger difference with the darker color. And then with the dark soft suede, I'm just going to color in that circle and just kind of scribble along the edges, back and forth kind of, with the dark soft suede. And then that really makes that kind of pop a little bit, but you can see it kind of looks light and dark, and it's not really, thank you Cindy for humming at your kitchen table, I knew you would. So I didn't like the heavy dark and light line there. Hey Tabitha, thanks for jumping in. So I'm just going to take the light soft suede again and literally just color over everything. So what I'm doing is kind of pulling the dark and the dark from each side and just kind of blending. That's why they're called the blends. Just kind of blending to get rid of that heavy dark light. And as it dries, you'll see it'll kind of do a better job of just blending, but I just want to show you how that really softened that whole look up. And then I'm going to jump to the Old Olive, and this is just a little tiny bit of coloring. So I'll start once again with that light color. And here too, I usually outline my leaves and such with the dark color, but it looks like they want the outside edges of the leaf to stay light looking. And then with the dark Old Olive, I just kind of highlight, just kind of brush out, or I'm almost like feathering out that color with the dark. And Old Olive, I use that quite a bit, especially with my brown tones. If I'm using brighter tones, I might tend to go to Granny Apple Green, but especially because I'm using Very Vanilla today, I just thought that was kind of a fun thing to do too. Hey Marie, thanks for jumping in today. Okay, so I've got this and this and this, and our card base is the bumblebee, and then I'm kind of assembling everything on some Very Vanilla. And then this was just a little bit of a sprig that I had from that In Good Taste Designer Series paper. And well, I had a bigger piece, but I just cut it down to a little sprig because I kind of just wanted to add a little bit of a natural tone and look into that. So, so what I did first was take my snail here, and I want to make sure I get all the way to the edges on this with it being quite a textured embossing folder. And I'm going to layer that on here, but I'm going to do that same technique that I showed you yesterday. So this is what I'm going to adhere it onto. So I just push this up against that lip there, and then I'll scoot this around to where it lines up but not over. And then I can just kind of push that down because that's butted up against there. So that will make sure that that's equal, like so. So that works really well when I want to build on that. And then the other reason why I didn't just put a strip of, excuse me, on the camera. The reason why I didn't put a strip of this and just a strip of this onto here is I want to put a ribbon around it, and it's hard to put like a strand of ribbon around two separate things. So being able to build on one piece will give me that solid background to do that. Hi Kelly, hi Carol. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this strip here, and this is in between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, and this is 3.75. In case you want to know measurements. And hopefully I've got that centered pretty well on there. Okay, so I'm just putting it like so. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. This was 4 by 3 1/2. And then I'm going to take this new ribbon. This is the Early Espresso Faux Suede ribbon, and it's really nice and dark because it's definitely Early Espresso. And I can tell that I have been gardening because my fingers are really rough. And so it's faux suede, you can tell that it wants to stick to my dry hands. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap that around the card. It's just going to cover up that seam there. And when I tie my ribbons, 99% of the time it's going to be just a knot, no bow. And this ribbon ties easy and fantastic. It's really pliable, easy to tie, which is great. Just snip a little bit of that off and that off. And then I wanted a little bit more texture through the ribbon. Hi, Rolanda. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so this looks a little crooked here. I just want to make sure that that's straight. So I am just going to sneak a couple winds around of this linen thread, tuck it underneath that knot. Just going to tie another knot. So it's going to be subtle, but I want it to just peek out a little bit so it says, hey, here I am. I thought about just winding some underneath my sunflower and just having like a little bit of a sprig sticking out here and there. It just, whoops, I knocked it with my scissor. It just didn't give me that look that I wanted to. So just gonna cut off a little bit there. Okay. Oh, Rolanda, I bet it is hot in Texas. It was really hot and muggy up until a few minutes ago when the downpour came through. So I'm thinking that might have changed the temperature. We'll see. Hi, Marilyn. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I have that all on there like so. And then next I can take and with my snail just tack that down like so. And then that's going to be ready to go on my card base. Actually, I want it to go here. Just has a crisper fold on this side, my eye noticed. Okay, I'm going to put that together like so. And then thanks a bunch. Like I said, I love the sentiment, how easy it is to read and such. See, usually I would have stamped this up there before assembling. My whole reasoning is that I'm always afraid that I'm going to get like a little outline or something. And if I stamped it up here first, then I could easily put it, if I stamped it up here and it didn't turn out, I could use the back side. But I'm going to be brave today and just kind of lightly ink it up, press it down evenly, and breathe out. So that one turned out pretty well. Okay, and then for my sunflower, I'm going to take some dimensionals. And this does kind of have a bump on it a little bit because of the texture of the 3D embossing folder and then the ribbon and then going to the shallower, thinner DSP and such. So I want to make sure that I'm putting my 2 dimensionals on the top and my 2 dimensionals on the bottom so that it kind of offers a little alleyway there in between for that ribbon to sit so that it can kind of straddle that and not be wobbly on the card. Okay, so I just want to make sure that that's showing up there. So I'm gonna kind of center that like so. And then for my 2 extra green leaves, I could have stamped them out in black and colored them in, but I thought I wanted just a little bit of an extra color texture look to it. So I'm just putting a glue dot on each one. And then I can just kind of tuck that. So I'm just going to press that glue dot so it kind of almost sits lower on purpose than that. And same there. So kind of, actually I want it to sit maybe more. Oh, wonder if my glue dot, yep, it released there. Okay, so I want to put it like so. Okay, so we have that like so, and then I'm going to show you what I want to do for the inside, and that is just doing a quick little ink up of the sunflower. And for those of you who absolutely love to color beyond belief, you could once again just go with those blends and color that in. I like making my insides a little bit more of a subtle statement. You could have even stamped out, you know, even a couple leaves on the bottom too as well. And so I'm just going to take my snail and tuck that into the inside. And there. Okay. And of course I want to put some extra little embellishment on there to make the whole card pop just a little bit more. And I hope you guys aren't bored of these things yet, because I know I've been using quite a few of them, but I can't get enough of them. They're the 2020, 2022 color enamel dots. They have been so popular already that not only are they on back order, they are unorderable for a few weeks while they get some more in. And they kind of knew that, so I feel like there was with everything going on maybe a little bit of a problem getting more in right away from the get-go. So just gonna take your pick tool and pull, or kind of just push 3 of them off with the tacky. That works so well. So I'm just going to, actually I kind of want to put that one, let's see, maybe I'll put it right about there. Okay, so it just adds, it's the cinnamon cider color, and it goes on with that really well as far as coordinating. And so there's today's card. Thanks a bunch. So that is the, oops. Okay, that is the card number 2 today for Linda Sampson's virtual stamp party. So tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to do a morning session because I have a craft day planned safely with some friends, and we are going to, oh, Rolanda, show the envelope. I didn't do an envelope. I don't do envelopes, and here's my reasoning. So I'm totally segueing, but thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Marilyn. So my envelope, there's a story with that. I have a tough time keeping my envelopes and my cards together. And even though I'm making these cards to send out, so anybody who places a $25 minimum order towards Linda's party is going to get the 3 cards that I've been crafting. They're going to get those 3 cards sent out in the mail to them. And even though they are getting just 3 cards and the 3 envelopes, I have a really tough time, and Rolanda's envelopes are beautiful. I have a really tough time keeping that card with that envelope. It's just like they scatter and they grow legs and whatever. So hi, Hope. So I don't do envelopes that way. And I joke too, my thing would be is if I took a envelope and stamped like the sunflower, I'd probably pull it out and go, oh, here's my Christmas card, and they wouldn't match up and such. So so I just kind of leave it plain. I do often put like a little sticker on it before I mail it or whatever. We shouldn't use stickers, just stamping. No. So anyway, so that's that. But yeah, so for Linda's cards, so today's 2, card number 3 will be tomorrow. So if you place a $25 minimum order with that code, then you'll get the 3 cards that I made yesterday, today, tomorrow. And so after I'm done with this, I'm gonna go upload today's card, and then you'll see again her hostess code, so you don't have to worry about writing that down during my Facebook Live while I crafted the card. And then yeah, tomorrow morning I kind of want to go live around 9 o'clock, but I'll give you guys a heads up probably about a half hour before I go on, so that you'll know when to expect that. But yeah, I have a fun social distancing crafting day planned with a couple of friends, so I'm excited about that. I feel like it's gonna be my first time really out of the house for a long time. Like, I can't remember the last time I packed up my I do remember the last time I packed up my big shot. It was to go to a crafting retreat the middle of March before all of this blew up. So I'm pretty excited to do some paper crafting with friends. But if you guys have any questions about like hosting a party and such, just remember the month of June, there's an extra $25 in host rewards. You can do that with a group of friends. You can just say, hey, Belle, I want to try what you're doing and I want to be the host and I want to see you make cards. I've loved inspiring people, and I know there's so many of you that have said, I just love to watch the cards every day. And so that's totally fine. And then I do have 2 more hostesses coming up after tomorrow, but I'm going to do a little bit of a break because yesterday, being the first day of the annual catalog, I placed a really large order. And so as soon as that comes in, I'll have time to work with it and get some fun samples for those other 2 hostesses. And that way you'll see more of a variety of other things from the catalog. And I already have lots of ideas spinning, even though the things aren't even here yet. So I'll be excited to bring you some new ideas once those things come to, and I'll give you a heads up on what days to expect to see those 3 cards made virtually right here on Facebook Live. So yeah, let me know if I can help you. And Marilyn, I'm glad that you received your papers in the mail today to sign up. So yeah, signing up right now this month is great too, because for $99 you get $125 worth of products and you get to pick out a free bundle. So actually the sunflower bundle that I worked with, the stamps and dies, could be completely free as an added on benefit for signing up this month. So those 2 specials run through June 30th. And so you can sign up. I can send you papers in the mail. You can go online to my website and click join now at belleharder.stampinup.net and just easily do it that way too. So super simple. Let me know how I can help. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys join in tomorrow morning if you can. Thanks.